welcome. I'm Lori, the host of The Lori Clark Show. Thrilled you're here. And today I have a little inspiration for us. It begins with a story. Of course, for me, there's always a story. There's always something that sparks a choice to create a show. And for me, this is really one of the biggest factors as I want to bring good content to you, and I want to offer you really important skills that you can take with you every day to live just a stable and good life. Stability is one of the biggest things that I'm looking for in my life. I don't want to live my best life. I need to have a stable life. I'm sure you can feel the same about the stability that you might need in your own life. And because I desire stability, because I value certainty, I value wanting to have, at the end of the day, this moment where I say, okay, that was good. It wasn't maybe great. Maybe it wasn't the best. You know what? I'm feeling okay. I'm feeling good. Many of us live in that space. I've lived in that space for, I would want to say a bazillion years, but that would really age me. So let's just say, probably 35 years, not quite 40, because, well, maybe 40 years. Let's go 40 because I'm 48 now. And I think that I was about 8 when I started to feel the rumblings of instability and some really important patterns that I have committed to addressing in my time as this is my platform. But that's what I want to talk about, because I had this thing where this word came to my mind, and I'm just going to walk you through my process. So, bear with me as I begin to share with you this little piece of this word called sabotage. I know. Like, I don't like that word. I'm sure you don't either. It's a big word. It's a big word. It doesn't feel good. It doesn't sound good. And maybe I can give it that it looks good on paper. Maybe I can say that. The writing, the way that the B and the G kind of, mix in there and create texture. Okay, fine. So SABOTAGE. Yeah, okay, fine. Looks good on a piece of paper. You can really do some nice writing with it, but that's about it. Otherwise, for me, I don't think there's any redeeming qualities in this word. Sabotage. I wrote down some things, so bear with me as I look. It is deliberately destroy, damage, or obstruct something. Wrecking to stop someone from trying to achieve something or to stop them from developing. I'm just going to read that definition over again, and I'll mark that clip. The definition of this word is deliberately destroy, damage, or obstruct something. Wrecking. To stop someone from trying to achieve something or to stop them from developing. There's also some kinds of sabotage, and which have different meanings and different definitions. So there's the destroy and the damage one, but there's also a deliberate inaction, where as a result of deliberate inaction, destruction has occurred. There's also the word sabotage means wastage. where deliberate action led to the wastage of something. I'm just going to give the definition again, um, just because my dog was barking. So as I was looking up this and trying to figure out, you know, the word sabotage, and I'll tell you how it came to me in a minute, but this is what the word means. It means deliberately destroy, damage, or obstruct something. Wrecking, to stop someone from trying to achieve something or to stop them from developing. It also means deliberate inaction, where as a result of deliberate inaction, destruction has occurred. It also means wastage, where deliberate action led to the wastage of something. And I thought this was interesting because I have never put this together. I've never thought to myself, oh, you know, I'm sabotaging something, therefore it's a waste, or therefore it's deliberate inaction. I've always just seen it as its word, sabotage, which looks pretty on a page and, you know, all that stuff, but really carries a powerful punch of heaviness to it. And so sabotage is familiar to me. It's a familiar word because I've used it a ton in my life. I've used it, you know, in my 20s when I first started, kind of came out of my house. I started living, you know, I was in my marriage. I was, you know, living my life, and I started to really discover what this word sabotage meant. And I've always thought, okay, well, I know I've been a victim to sabotage. I've always thought that the world was working to take me out of my joy, my peace, my happiness, that the world was moving me out of a good life. I I look at someone who says, "Oh my gosh, I'm living my best life." And I'm like, "Really?" Cuz, you know, for me, living my life just means if I can make it good, if I can be good and solid at the end of my day, I'm happy. If I can create a level of stability for myself and feel like what I did was stabilizing to the things that I put myself to during that day, I'm happy. My best, my best is when I'm on vacation. And maybe I can be adjusted on this, but I've chosen to start to live my life in a way that just is stable, that that brings grounding. So, and maybe that's a reaction to the word sabotage and being um a participant in a victim stance when it comes to my life. Whenever I would begin to do something like create more podcasts, more shows, more whatevers, put myself into writing or um, just any kind of creative endeavor, there would always be this heavy, heavy weight. Like it was a load just landing on my back from no effort of my own, just coming down from heaven, landing on me. And I just be like, oh, there's that familiar feeling. I don't know if any of you can relate to this. I'm sure you can. I'm sure you're out there. Sabotage, deliberate inaction, wastage, where deliberate action led to the wastage of something. You begin to move forward and you feel this heaviness and this weight. And the next thing you know, you're trying to move yourself out of the heaviness and not move in to what it is that you're actually supposed to be doing. This is what I have done I would say basically my whole life, sabotage has always come for me. That's what's so curious. I'm really, really, really curious because I can do lots of efforting and lots of action, but it's always around this feeling like sabotage is just sitting there going, yeah, it's just sitting back in its chair going, yeah, you see, you're going to go and do that thing. You're going to do that. You're going to launch that little campaign called Shame Out Loud for your podcast, that little series that you're going to do, or you're going to launch this or that, or reach out to that guest. And I'm just going to let you go. And just before you make a big move, I'm going to drop and you're going to feel the effects of what heaviness and we call it procrastination. And then you're going to be able to justify all the reasons why you weren't able to do your thing, why you weren't able to actually move forward. Maybe you couldn't trust yourself. I know for me that I've lived for so long feeling sabotaged by my own doubt, my own sense of unworthiness, by narratives that I've made in my head. But I've really wrestled with this, and this is the risky part for me to do this show because I'm just wondering. You might have some questions about this, and I'd love to dialogue with you. But I realized something the other day, um, because I had a moment, and I want to share that with you. So my moment was I was sitting, I was just reflecting, I was meditating, praying, I was just sitting in absolute stillness, and this impression came to me. So, um, for some of you, you might think an impression is, you get like a message, and for many others, it's a thought package where words arrive, and you feel like words and pieces and sentences and phrases are all coming together, and they're actually sitting in front of you, talking to you. And some of you might say it would be God speaking to you, and some might say the universe. But whatever your faith tradition, whatever you believe, um, insert that here. For me, I'm just using the word impression because it impressed itself on me, whatever that was in the space where I was not thinking about sabotage. I was thinking about, well, nothing. I was focusing on just my breath. And next thing you know, this impression came to me, and it had words. And I'm going to read these words off my notes here. It said, "You have a beautiful gift in front of you, and it doesn't take much to move forward. And yet you simply choose to overlook it. You are willingly sabotaging your passion." I was like, where did that come from? I was sitting there going, wait, okay, wait. That thought, okay, well, what the heck? I was so weirded out by that thought, and I thought, okay, that's not a nice thing to say. So, and where did that come from? But I had been holding a space of intention as I was in stillness and thinking and in my quiet time. And the intention was, what can I do to grow deeper? I've done a lot. Is there something else that I need to be able to do that can guide and move me forward to greater growth and transformation? And so maybe that was the wrong thing to think because it just, oh my goodness, it was like, oh yeah, okay. I got something that I was not probably bargaining for. So and now I'm just going to look at my notes and sort of, if you follow me with this, it's a very interesting journey. So this thought of being of not or willingly sabotaging my passion kind of stuck with me all day. In fact, this podcast is my passion. It is something that I love to do. Except, as you know, if you've been following me, you'll see. You can look at my Instagram, you see that I'm not posting as much. I don't post much. I only post when I have something really good to say, and I haven't had really anything good to say in the last few months, so I haven't really posted. But it was this unshakable thing for me during the day about this beautiful thing that I have. This it says you're willingly sabotaging your passion. It's a beautiful gift in front of you. And I'm like, oh my God. I guess this is an important time to insert a question. If you're listening, maybe the question is asked to you, and you can begin to join me as I walk this journey, connecting to something that is sabotaging me and why. I'm not afraid of it, but I am curious about it because it has happened to me time and time and time and time and time again. So the question is, what is sitting in front of you that's a beautiful gift? What have you been thinking about in your life? What is the goodness that you look at, you see, and then you go, oh, I can't even think that that would be for me. Is there something? Because we all come from somewhere and we all carry things into something else, whether it's a relationship, work, a passion, your artistry, exercise, eating, spirituality. We all come from somewhere and we're all going somewhere. And when we end up seeing something good in our life, a lot of times we sabotage the goodness that is there for us, that came. We don't even really see that we've done it. Many times we just look at it and go, okay, that's too good to be true. I can't even think about it. So I got to run away. Anybody? I'm I'm living proof. I've lived a really interesting life, and I've had a lot of things happen in my life. And what's so apparent to me is I have really sabotaged some of the blessings that are waiting for me. And that's what came when I set the space in my heart and in my soul and in my mind to say, hey, I want to grow. Hey, I want to grow more. I'm willing to move into transformation. What came was you got something beautiful and you're sabotaging it. So I did something that I do on the regular. Um, I called the person who's like in my back pocket. He's been with me my whole life. My brother, my one of my best friends on earth. He checks me. He loves me. He doesn't judge me. He supports me. He is just a beautiful, beautiful human. And I called him and I said, hey, I got something here and I'm thinking about it and I want to run it by you. We had a very interesting discussion because we talked about sabotage and how sabotage was modeled to us in our life. Because what happened to me is I began to think, okay, where did I learn to sabotage myself? I can't think of a time where I, purposely started this pattern. And I'm thinking, no, I found it somewhere. Like where did it originate? And I went back in my mind and in my memory. And I told you, I just phoned my brother and he's like, yeah, no, we learned that. We learned that. We learned that because we had a parent who modeled sabotage. Anytime something good came to us, any time, and I mean like, it could have been a house, like a really great house to live in. We would live in it for a very short period of time, and then we'd move and we'd rent. We'd move and we'd rent another house in the community, but we never would stay. We never um, stayed in the same school for very long. We never stayed in the same city for very long. And even more, which wasn't our responsibility, none of those things were our responsibility as children. We didn't, our parent didn't stay in the same job for very long either. And so that thing that was that sense of safety, that sense of stability, when something good was going to happen, he would always say to us, oh, you know what? You just wait. You just wait. Something's going to happen. Nothing good ever lasts. Oh, have you ever heard that? Nothing good ever lasts. Oh, right? If you are hearing that and saying, yeah, I resonate with that. I resonate with the words, nothing good ever lasts. That's not actually from you. If you learn that as a kid, that's just your parents' saboteur. It isn't yours. And their sabotaging ways are actually leading you to doubt yourself and sabotage your own freedom and your own vision and your own dream for your life. Right? It's a big, big deal. And it's one that produces self-doubt, it produces shame, it produces crazy narratives, and keeps you locked into a lot of fear. Waste of energy. It's a wastage. And what was the definition up at the top here of my page? It was wastage where deliberate action led to the wastage of something. So the deliberate action of denying and following the path of maybe not going towards the thing you want because you're afraid. You follow the fear, you're going to lead to destruction. Your vision will not, most likely, in many cases, actually happen. And then you'll be sitting in your life going, oh my God, I'm 60 years old and I could have, should have, would have, and I didn't. And I hate that. Well, I don't want to be that person. I'm sure you don't want to be that person. The deliberate waste for me was when I realized that I was putting a dream and a goal on the shelf and letting it sit there because a narrative was saying to me these things. No one will listen to you. You are not good enough. You are not like so and so who's famous and has a great podcast or a great show. You're never really going to go anywhere anyways. And this is the one that is quite triggering for me. If you talk about things that are important to you or that happen to you, Lori, in your life, then you're going to hurt people because they might not like what you have to say. And I would never want to hurt somebody because, I'm trying to say something that happened to me or an experience. I wouldn't want to uncover anybody, but I also want to say what has happened in my life. So I sit on this line between my dream, between my passion, between executing, and the sabotage, this wastage, this deliberate inaction that keeps me absolutely stunned into losing my voice, stunned into a measure of sadness at the end of my day where I know I could have done something differently to bring a little more stability, and I never did because I was giving myself away to something else, wasting my time, wasting my energy. So I sit in the wastage and inaction, and I let the moment of clarity and experience pass me by, saying, oh, you know what? I'll do that next week. I'll record that show next week. I'll have that conversation next week. Well, I'm wasting the moment when the magic is coming to me. It's coming to me in this beautiful clarity, in this thought form. And it's saying, we're behind you. The universe is behind you. The universe wants to come behind you and push you into your life and your goal and your vision and your power. And yet I'm squandering the magic of it because I'm saying things like, I don't believe in myself. I don't think I can do this. I'll do it later. Well, later rarely ever happens. I'm not saying I do this all the time, but I am saying that in this moment, when I was sitting in silence and reflecting, that impression was so strong and so out of the ether that I did not stop to think about anything other than, man, I need to really consider this. This must be a warning. This must be something that I'm hearing that is going to help me move forward. The natural thing is to panic and push it aside. The path to stability when you are stable says, I'm going to just rest in my stability for a second. I'm going to ground myself. Just hold on. I need to think about this. So there's a few things that I can offer you today. And before I offer them, I just want to say, maybe you are in a career that you love, but you have this passion that you want to fuel and you want to use, but you just are saying to yourself, I never can find the time. I can't find the time. I can't find the time to do it, to write, to do whatever. Well, look at what is sabotaging you. Listen to this, hear this. What is your wastage? What is your deliberate inaction? Are you deliberately being inactive because you are afraid, you are worried, or those narratives in your head say, Lori, you were always told you were too much. Lori, you were always told that you were a big mouth. You were told, don't be such a big mouth. Why do you keep talking all the time? I was always told that, oh, it's good, but that's just, you're ahead of your time. I always felt the pain of insignificance. I didn't have certain people in my life that were absolutely supporting me. But that was then. And part of this sabotage is beginning to understand that life is always teaching us, no matter how old we are, where we are in this world, where we live, who we live with, it doesn't matter. Sabotage is asking something of us, and our life that we live is asking us to learn. It wants to teach us. And so when we sit in these quiet spaces and we say, give me something here, and you get something that you don't really want to hear, what do you do with it? Well, the biggest thing for me that helps me not run for the hills is to be curious. I treat it like I've seen something new and I'm like, what's that? When you come at a life problem with the curiosity that you would to research something you've never ever understood before, to look at something in a different way. How does it work? What does it mean? Why does it exist? Where do I see that in other aspects of life? Does anybody talk about this? Can anybody teach me something? That's the first point. For me, it is. I became curious. My first response was, I'm going to phone my brother. I want to see if he resonates with this, that perhaps I've been taught to sabotage. And I want to be really clear. I'm not blaming my parents. I know it sounds like I am, but I'm actually not. I'm not. Truth be told, I'm not. I look at what I've done as a parent, and I know that I've taught behaviors in the people that I've raised in this world, and some are good and some are not good. The point in that is to always be available to adjustment and to listen. And so we get the choice, just as much as we get the choice to hear and to become curious about something that we maybe don't like. We also get the choice to go back to our past and say, oh my gosh, I'm blaming you, I'm blaming you. Well, now you're a victim of them. And I have a lot to blame for. I have a lot to blame them for, but I choose to not. I've moved into this path of responsibility for my own life, personal responsibility. And so my personal responsibility is this. Oh my gosh, that was a pattern that I learned. I didn't even know I learned it. I didn't even see it. I was chalking it up to something else. I didn't actually have this clarity about it. I always was like, oh, I'm a victim of, I'm victim of time. There's never enough time. I'm busy. Blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay, whatever. Oh, I can't. I all my narratives. But really the end goal is that I understand where the pattern came from. And I don't hold ill will or unforgiveness over my family of origin. That was their pain. Can you imagine the shame that they felt? Moving from job to job, never feeling stable, never feeling like they had, a really safe place. Every time a good thing happened, they were behind the eight ball and the rug was pulled out from underneath them. And that was the belief. That was the experience. I feel for them. I watched it happen. I was 8, 9, 10, 11, 15, 16, 19, 20, 25. I watched it happen. We can learn from the patterns and the experiences of others. And life does teach us, even from the rubble of our lives. Life does teach us from the pain of our lives. Life teaches us from our past. Life is here. It's a school. It's a life lesson. Let's begin to learn. Let's become curious. Let's understand that life is teaching us. And if it is teaching us, then how can we grow? Maybe it would be of service to you if you've ever felt this way. That holding the power of this impression of there is something beautiful in front of you. You have a beautiful gift. You're squandering it. Become curious about if that's true for you. And then when you become curious about it, and if you can't make the phone call to someone, I would say the next best thing is to begin to write it down. My little journal. Wrote it in here. I've often written it in my on my computer, where just in a notes tab. I've even text myself things or put it in my calendar to remind me to think about it. Sometimes I just don't want to think about what I just thought about because it's uncomfortable. And so when that impression comes, being curious and journaling, reflecting, talking to someone or asking, hey, you got any understanding about this? Because this is, if you're from a family of siblings and you're in connection with them, maybe ask. When this impression came to me, it felt like it was too hot to handle. I was like, oh, I'm gonna move on. But I couldn't. It wouldn't leave me. And it pushed me deeper, 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 deeper into um making a choice. And the choice is ultimately this. Well, I'm sitting here doing this for you, for me, to share. That's what I want to do. It's just something to think about. It's just something to think about and let you know that along the way, this what you're feeling is real. What you're feeling is real. That sabotage or that feeling or that really big frustration of I've got something here and I can't seem to hold it. I can't seem to keep doing it because I just screw it up all the time. I've got something so good for me. Maybe that's because there's something in your life that you believed, you learned it over and over again of how it was supposed to be you were supposed to relate to it, that you just believed it was true. Maybe you just believe that the person that you just met is like the best thing that's ever happened to you, but you want to run for the hills. Well, what are you believing? What has life trained you to believe about life? What has life trained you to believe about good things? When good things happen to you, what happens in your body, in your heart, in your soul, in your mind? What happens to you when good things happen? Do you think, oh, the other shoe is going to drop? Where is the other shoe? Where's that other thing? This is too good to be true. This cannot be happening. I have it. I have it right now. And it almost feels too good to be true that I'm sitting here having this conversation with you and I have all these different things going on. Almost too good to be true. But interestingly enough, now that I become curious, I have been able to examine it, look at it from all angles. If this cup that I have in my hand right here, if this is, let's just pretend it's sabotage, then hold it at a distance. Don't 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 take it in yet. Just look at it. You got the permission. I give you permission to just observe it. How does this sit here? Why is it here? Why does it have its shape? What made these colors? What made sabotage happen? What things work together to create an experience where I believed that I just could ignore something, where I believed that it was okay to waste goodness, that it was okay to waste wisdom, that it was okay to waste time and energy. Deliberate inaction is a result of deliberate inaction. When destruction occurs, you destroy something because you haven't done anything with it. You pick apples and you put them on your counter and you don't do anything with them, they will rot. That's choice. Put them in the fridge or eat them or freeze them. Make them into a pie. But deliberate inaction will destroy most things in this life, including your dreams. It's powerful. This is just a skill. This is just a tool that you can put in your arsenal for another day. to help you make it. I hope you find this conversation maybe not even enjoyable, but I just hope you find something here. Hope you find whatever it is you were looking for. And I hope you are able to explore and become curious about the beauty that's in front of you. The beauty that's in front of you that doesn't take too much to move it forward. Yet you simply choose to overlook it. You are willingly sabotaging your passion, your life, your relationships. Begin to become curious. First step, don't even go to gratitude. Because a lot of people have said to me, gratitude, schmatitude, I can't be grateful in this situation. This is really painful. First thing for me, I was not grateful that that happened. I became curious. Now I'm grateful. But I was grateful after I was able to hold it at a distance and kind of examine it and explore it and realize that I don't have to bring that into my world. I don't have to take that on. You don't have to carry sabotage. You don't. It isn't yours. Lots of things that we are acting out in our life is because it was modeled to us. It was modeled to us. It was a behavior that was not our own. We reflect our actions in this world, and somebody showed you how to be in a situation. You just thought that that was the right way. Maybe it is the right way. Maybe it's the wrong way. We have all these good attributes and not so good attributes. But that's how it works. You model things. We all do it. What's in front of you? What's sabotaging you? And if you're terrified, good. Now become curious. Thank you. You're valuable. And I love that you've taken the time. It's important to me. Thank you. Thank you for sharing your time with me.